Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another exciting episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In the first corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, and whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he orders a chief burrito because he's made of chicken and beef. Delaware's greatest American hero. He is Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a man who is making a name for himself in professional wrestling as the greatest wrestler in ACW, that's Appalachian Championship Wrestling, ever. He is a two-time ACW television champion. Everybody, welcome to the show, the Masked Menace, Clarence Kent Archer. I think I got that wrong, but welcome to our show, sir. How you doing today?
Woo! Oh, I'm doing great. It's Arch Clarence Kent, but hey, it's your first time, so I don't hold any offense to it. So,
Cool,
yeah.
cool. So I got to say, thank you for actually,
I'm just, I'm
one,
just setting. Okay, sorry.
I'm, I'm sorry. You can go ahead. I think we lost him, did we?
I don't think so.
I'm not seeing anything on my. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean the screen's froze. Yeah,
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
yeah, we're getting back.
It is people. It's live TV. It happens.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, awesome. He's back. Awesome. So,
Whew.
Arch, welcome back. Really and truly appreciate. We appreciate you actually, wanting to be a guest on our show. Normally, we're the ones that hit up wrestlers, but it says something when a wrestler actually wants to be on your show. So we really and truly appreciate it. We know there are a lot of others out there, but we appreciate you choosing us as well. So how's everything going for you tonight and whatnot?
It's going good. I'm sitting here in North Carolina. I'm at my parents' house at the moment, just relaxing. And I'll just watching the weather because of that horrible storm that's happening in Florida, the Hurricane Ian.
Fiona, I think is
Yeah.
it Fiona?
Um, huh?
They have so many names. I lose track of them. Like I don't
Um,
know.
but yeah, Hurricane Ian. I've got friends and I've got family down in Florida, so I'm watching and praying and I'm letting them all know that they're in my thoughts and prayers and all, and to stay safe, keep your head down or keep your head up, stay hunkered down, and just listen to the officials, the experts that know what they're talking about. Just listen to them and stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. So,
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right about that. For those of y'all that are in Florida, my thoughts and prayers go out to y'all and y'all's family and friends. Just stay in there, stay safe. Trust me, I've been in Florida when there was a hurricane passing through. It was actually a Hurricane Wilma back in '05, and that messed Fort Lauderdale up a bit to the point where people were actually in lines trying to get gas from the gas station. So yeah, it's my thoughts and prayers are out there with y'all. I hope y'all are safe during this time, and you know, just hope y'all are stocked up and y'all are good to go there. But yeah, North Carolina. I was actually in North Carolina just last year. I was there for 2 years with the Navy, and it's a nice place. I gotta say, when it comes to Southern hospitality, y'all are a close second. When it comes to um, y'all are a close second to Atlanta when it comes to Southern hospitality, and it's a nice place. I've been to Charlotte, been to Wilmington, been to Raleigh. Raleigh's my one of my favorites. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Could you? No offense, you kind of lagged there. Could you repeat that question again?
I was saying that I was in North Carolina for just last year for like 2 years with the Navy, and I've been to like Raleigh and Charlotte and Wilmington, and Raleigh's one of my favorites. I definitely enjoyed my time there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I love North Carolina. I do. I mean, might not be a huge fan of where I live at the time, McDowell County. We have a lot of weird stuff happening in McDowell County at the moment. So, I mean, but there's weird stuff going on in different places of the world. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely is. Definitely is. So I gotta ask you, man, how'd you become a fan of professional wrestling? Like, what was the pay per view or main event that you saw that got you hooked?
Uh-oh. Think we lost him.
Yeah.
Must have a storm coming somewhere.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Just bad service.
He's back.
Yeah, it's all good.
sorry,
Hey.
my internet is being weird for some reason.
It happens, man. It happens.
Okay, you were asking me a question before I got booted.
Yeah. Like, how did you become a fan of like professional wrestling? What was the match you saw or the pay per view you saw that made you tune in every week afterwards?
I'd have to say, the one I remember the most had to have been the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express in the scaffold match when they had Chi-Town Heat and back in the day.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. That's old school, man. That's like back in the '80s, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looks like your co-host kind of got disconnected too.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if I'm next, but he'll be back.
But yeah, yeah, that. But my favorite wrestler is it's a tie between Sting and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh wow, two greats, two Hall of Famers as well too.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. I definitely grew up watching those men. Definitely grew up watching Macho Man and Sting. Actually, Macho Man was actually he was part of the first ever wrestling match that I saw, which was him and Zeus versus Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Geez, that's an old one. That's definitely an old one. Harkening back there.
Yeah.
Geez.
Um. Yeah, I was hooked after that, and yeah, I just loved me some wrestling after that. That was a cool match. Yeah. So growing up, did you ever get to go to any of the actual shows, like any of like the WWE or other promotions? Did
I
you get to see
I
those shows?
I've actually never been to a WWE event. As hard as that is to believe, I've never been to a WWE event. I wanted to go to a WCW event and all, but they went out of business before I could. And I think the one match I remember, one of the live shows. It looks like the host is trying to come back in here.
Yeah, he's back. He just has his
Yeah.
screen up.
Um, one thing I remember from a famous wrestler I watched. I was living, I think, on uh not Spring Street. Uh, it's like I can't remember. I used to live. We have like a CJ's here in Marion. What used to be CJ's, and we lived. And back when I was a kid, I lived across from there. One time they had a wrestling event going on there, and we went over there to watch it. And Wahoo McDaniel was wrestling. I remember going and seeing Wahoo McDaniel wrestle, and he was signing autographs, and I was able to get his autograph picture inside the keychain.
That's awesome. They got to do that. That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah. So in terms of the whole not going to WWE events things, trust me, I don't feel bad about it. I didn't go to my first one until I was like 29. That was like 10 years ago. I didn't go to my first wrestling event until it was like WrestleMania, around WrestleMania week. I didn't go to my first one until I was like 28.
Jesus.
And then afterwards, I turned 29 right soon afterwards, and then I went to my first WrestleMania, and my only WrestleMania, last well 10 years ago, and then I went to my first independent show soon after. Like it was like the same May of that year, and I enjoyed it. And I always try to go to these events every chance I get, every now and then, if I have the time and if I don't have to do something else. And it's really fun. It's really fun going to them. But yeah, don't feel bad about that, man. Trust me. Yeah.
The most
Don't feel bad if you do.
uh, the most recent ones I've been to two AEW events, and I think the first time they showed up in Charlotte, I went to that. That's back when Cody was still wrestling for AEW and all. And then they had to be pandemic stuff that went on and stuff, I guess. And then that put lots of stuff on hold. And then they came back to Charlotte, and we went to go see that one. And that was after Cody had left AEW. So those are my two most recent events I've been to.
So I gotta ask you, when Cody was there, you could tell that there was a bit of a change. There was a bit of a difference. And then when he left, some people are saying that there's a bit of a difference there too as well. Would
Uh,
you say that the crowd was different when he wasn't there?
um, well, it's hard to say, really. I mean, the first time we went, I mean, it was loud. The fans were huge because when we went at that time, it was in Charlotte. I can actually tell you when it was. It's back when Chris Jericho was AEW World Champion, and Cody had made that challenge that if he lost to Chris Jericho, he would never challenge for the AEW World Title again. And I think at that time the fans were so behind him and like, yeah, this is our champion, okay? This is our guy we can get behind. And I think after he lost to Chris Jericho, I think the fans just kind of fizzled out on Cody, and they wanted to see Cody become a heel, and Cody didn't want to become a heel. So the fans, you know how the fans are. If they don't like you, they're going to boo you, whether you're a babyface or you're a heel. I think that's very evident from how the fans here lately have been cheering MJF because they want to like MJF, but MJF's the bad guy, and they're rooting for MJF. So the fans usually cheer. That's the beautiful part about wrestling. The fans root for whoever they want to root for. That's always been the great thing about wrestling. But yeah, I think now there's more of a difference. I think the fans are more excited now that Cody's gone. Not saying anything bad about Cody, it's just I think they feel that Cody was constantly putting himself in title matches, whether he was or not. That's the downside to being an EVP or having the title of the EVP. Everybody thinks that you're booking your own matches, you're making yourself the champion, and I think they felt that he was being pushed down their throats when they wanted somebody else, and he was being pushed down their throats, and they were just making themselves vocal that they didn't want Cody.
Right. Right. I always say that there's certain philosophies that work for people and certain philosophies that don't. And
Oh yeah,
one thing you gotta do is you gotta listen to your fans. If your fans are booing somebody, turn that person heel. They're cheering somebody, turn that person face. You know,
right.
I would just turn Cody heel. That's it. I mean, I would just turn them heel, and just
Yeah.
if they're gonna boom, let them boom, and then when they start cheering, let them start cheering. You know,
Oh yeah.
it,
Definitely.
I listened to a certain video clip of MJF, and MJF said that not MJF, Chris Jericho, when he was addressing MJF, and he was like, one day MJF is gonna become a face, and he's gonna have to like it, like whether he wants to or not, he's gonna have to deal with it because it's
Right.
only you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it happens.
So now that you're a fan and you're going to the shows and you're cheering your favorite wrestlers and you're booing the ones you don't like, um, how did your journey go from fan to now wrestler?
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you asked that question. It's great. I'd have to say, okay, after like I said, back I became a fan of wrestling early. I mean, I was lucky enough to come from a family who watched the greats like Bruno San Martino or Blackjack Mulligan or Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen and the original incarnation like Tully Blanchard, Ole, Arn, Ric Flair, the original Four Horsemen. And I got to come from a family who watched that. So when WCW came around and we'd sit down and we watched WCW and we enjoyed it and we'd all gather around and watch it. And I always wanted to be a wrestler, but as a kid and as getting older, I had some health issues that kind of prohibited me from doing that. It wasn't till I'd say I was 31. I'd have to say 31. My health was the best it was. It's ever been. A friend of mine contacted me and he's like, "Hey, you want to be a wrestler? You want to come? There's this guy wanting to put a show back on ACW Appalachian Championship Wrestling in Dale, North Carolina. You want to come and train and get booked on the show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And from there on, the rest is, as they say, history.
Awesome, that's cool, man. I saw your one match that you had on TikTok, and you did pretty well. Um, your opponent was actually much bigger than you, but you were able to pull off the win and have a good night that night. And yeah, that was pretty impressive. So
Thank you.
what was your thought? What was your mindset after training was done, going into your first match? What was that like for you? Were you nervous as hell? Were you like, something, I got this. I've had enough training from a good trainer. I got this. Or was it a mixture of both?
Well, the ironic part is, and everybody believes, and I don't know, it might become an unpopular opinion with a lot of people and might make some people mad. It might be a mixed reaction, but I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Anybody who actually thinks their training is 100% over ever, they're naive and they're oblivious. Okay, because we're always on a learning process. You're always learning stuff, and like I had my first ever match after having had I'd say 5 days worth of training, and that's like 5 days of intense training because they had a show coming up and it was quick. Uh, Bradshaw, who's my mentor, he had to work with what he had and he had to do it quick and he had to be ready. The ironic part about that first show I ever did, I wrestled. I actually wrestled my mentor and the guy who trained me during that match. I'll tell you, this guy's like jacked and big. So when he chops you in the chest, he chops you in the chest. It's like steel coming down on your chest. And when you got a human chest and steel going one on one, the steel always wins. So, but no, I'd have to say I was a little nervous, a little bit, confident and nervous. I was confident because uh, I trusted the person I was in the ring with. Um, I was nervous because I'm like, well, if I screw up, it's on me. And if these fans don't like the show, it's on me. And all because it's not on the guy who's been doing it for 40 some years. It's on me, the new guy who has had maybe a total of 5 days worth of training max. So, but yeah, training's never officially over. It's never over because you're always learning something.
Awesome. So for those of y'all that are actually getting into, looking to get into professional wrestling, you got some advice from one of your fellow wrestlers that you'll probably end up wrestling down the line, especially if you're in North Carolina. So you got some good advice from him there. So
I got some more advice. As you know, because I think we actually all got in contact with each other through a Twitter space, if I'm correct.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Gabe Sapowski was putting on a Twitter space, and I was there listening. And the best thing I can say is if you have Twitter and you're these new aspiring guys, like I was talking to a guy named, I think his name's Kyle Pearson. He's wanting to, he's going down to Florida in a few weeks. Hopefully, this hurricane will be over with. I'm sorry if it's loud. Hold on, let me close that door. Hold on. There we go. That was loud. That was extremely loud. Okay. Um, Kyle Pearson. I was talking to him, and he basically was talking about how 2 weeks in a few weeks he's going down to Florida to train, and all. And he's found a training school, wrestling school that he can train at. And I was just talking to the guy, and I said, "Yeah, these Twitter spaces are good. If I was you, I'd hop in as many of them as you can." And even if you don't talk, just sit there and listen. Because like a wrestler told me, AJ McIntyre, who used to wrestle for ACW, he told me, God gave us one mouth and two ears, so we can listen 2 times more than we talk. So listening is always better than talking because you're going to learn more if you listen than if you were to talk.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You're definitely right about that. I've actually this. So that one, and I really wish Gabe Sapolsky would have had more. I don't know if he's gonna do any more because he just got signed. He's just got re-signed to WWE. He just got rehired to WWE, so I don't know if he's gonna do any more. But that was like one of the best. Matter of fact, that was the best one in my opinion that I ever listened to. And he was like, and it wasn't just him talking. He was just going on there and getting guys. I remember I heard you speak on there, and then there was two other guys, two other guys, and one other girl that was there too. I recognized one of the guys, AJZ from OVW. I remember him from those days. There was also Shaza, who, of course, is an up and coming wrestler. She's been in the game for 10 years, and if you're deep into wrestling, you would know who she is. She's from Australia. I'm surprised she hasn't been signed yet, but hopefully it happens soon. But she was one of the people that actually talked as well too, and yeah, it was an overall good space. I couldn't listen to the rest of it because unfortunately my phone was dying. So by I think the fourth person, that was it. My phone was like, I'm done. So, but yeah, that was a really good Twitter space.
Um, he said he's gonna keep doing the Twitter spaces. I think he said Wednesdays are gonna be here the normal days. So they're gonna start up before say Dynamite happens, and they're gonna go through and past when Dynamite goes off. So if I'm correct, he's gonna be having one tomorrow. So
Oh, okay. I will definitely try to listen if I'll probably I should have time, so I'll definitely try to listen in and see what he has to say. It was very great. And for those of y'all listening, yeah, definitely follow Gabe Sapolsky and definitely check out his Twitter spaces. They're pretty awesome. You'll meet a lot of new wrestlers. And the great thing about it is that he actually has people take the mic as a speaker and just say who they are, where they're from, and what they intend to do in business and so on. So I just got a few more before I turn it over to Rob. So my next question is, so you're based in North Carolina. Have you
Yes.
ever got the chance, or do you intend to like branch out to like South Carolina, Atlanta? Maybe go up north to like um DC, Maryland, Virginia, any of that stuff?
Well, it's weird. You mentioned Virginia. It's ironic. I'll tell you something about Virginia here in a bit. Right now, I'm just really loving working in Bell, North Carolina. Well, I've also worked in Lincolnton, North Carolina. I worked in Salisbury, North Carolina last year for at the Salisbury Fairgrounds for a guy named Rex Rumble, and he was putting on a wrestling thing all week during the carnival, and he needed some wrestlers. And one of the wrestlers that wrestles for ACW, Mr. Thunderbolt, asked if we would come up and wrestle. We were looking for wrestlers. They were looking for wrestlers who worked. So me and a friend of mine went up and um, we worked the fairgrounds. He did, but we also had another person. You saw that TikTok video, right? Where, like you said, I was facing the bigger guy. I wrestled that guy also at the Salisbury Fairgrounds and all last year and all. I can now say we've patched things up. We're now on better terms. We had a falling out beforehand, but now we're on better terms. We're back together, and he was supposed to be wrestling October the 8th when we're having the show, but uh, he can't make it to unforeseen circumstances. You know how life is. Things come up, things get in the way. You can't make something that you want to make.
Yeah.
It happens. So I wish him the best of luck. I'm not going to delve into why he can't make it. That's his thing, and for him to announce when he's ready to announce. But I wish him the best. I do. Uh, but you mentioned Virginia and all, but we were originally going to go to Virginia, I think, sometime this year. ACW was going to branch off into Virginia, but the building that a person they knew owned, a person owned a building down there, and we were going to go there and wrestle, and then he ended up selling the building. So our Virginia, our trip to Virginia kind of got canceled. I don't know if we're going to make it there. I think, like I said, I can't say too much, but I think we might be in Shelby in November, in Shelby, North Carolina in November, which I am actually looking forward to if we are actually going to be able to do that. We still have a lot of things in the works, so I can't really comment too much on that. I would love to work Virginia. I would love to work as long as it's not West Virginia. I mean, you probably heard stories of things that happen in West Virginia, right?
Yeah, the hills have eyes. I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of that stuff's true. That is. I mean,
I'm, I'm just kidding.
I stay
I'm
away
just
from
kidding.
West Virginia.
Anybody from West Virginia, I'm just messing. Don't come after me. Don't come for it. I crack on every state, man. Don't I crack on New York too as well. I live here. So don't
Well,
feel no
not
way.
every. I don't want all the people from West Virginia coming down to North Carolina and go like, oh, you slandered us. Not everybody in West Virginia is like that, but there are some weird people in West Virginia that I would love to not communicate with. So that's just me. I
I'll
mean,
tell you what, I dare you to come up here on Halloween. You'll see some weird. Trust me. Oh man, New York. I love New York, but man, some of the stuff you'll see here. Man, they had a woman giving a whole raccoon a bath by a fire hydrant. Yeah, that's
oh
kind of weird.
Jesus,
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. So,
Yeah, y'all
but
probably
my
also
bad. Go ahead,
you probably also have that city correspondent named Stefan, right, from SNL. I'm pretty sure he's there.
I don't know. It's a big city.
Right.
So, I just got one last question. So before I turn it over to Rob, kind of Rob, I have a question he wants to ask. So in terms of wrestling, who are your top 5 opponents you'd want to wrestle in the near future? They could be from anywhere: WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, Japan. They can even be from the Indies or even North Carolina.
Well, okay. One would be Blanco Loco. You've seen that guy, right? Blanco Loco all over Facebook. Sultan of the Sky, Blanco Loco. He's also been on AEW Dark a few times.
Yep.
I would love to wrestle him. I actually have communicated with him a few times. Just on last time I talked to him was whenever I made my trip up to Tennessee, and just on vacation went to Tennessee, and I communicated with him, but on Messenger. But I mean, I'd say he's one of them. I think I'd have to say I would love to wrestle MJF at some point if that ever happens, because I think he's a good all around technical wrestler. I think he has the skills. I think it could be a good match. And plus, I'd just love to punch that guy in the face. I mean, there's MJF, there's Blanco Loco. Uh, I'd love to wrestle. I'd love to wrestle Randy Orton. I say on a daily basis every time I'm like, Randy Orton's one of those guys eh, you could put anybody in the ring with him, and he's going to make them look good, and they're going to make him look good if done right. I also like to say, if you're a writer, you can't figure out what to do with Randy Orton, then you don't deserve to have a writing job in wrestling, because Randy Orton is one of the most simplistic people to put in a match and in the storyline. He works either as a great heel or as a good babyface. He can do anything. That's the thing about Randy Orton. So if you can't figure out what to do with Randy, then you don't deserve to be in the business when it comes to being a writer. That's my opinion. And I really can't think of 5 at the moment. I've gotten to wrestle Kraken, which is great. I mean, if he does step back into the ring again, I'd love to wrestle him again. Love it. I've teamed with Corey Edsel, who's in ACW. I haven't really wrestled Corey Edsel. I'd love to get into the ring and wrestle him sometime. I've teamed with the Natural Born Player, who is in ACW, and he's the Mid Atlantic champion for our company. I've teamed with him. I haven't gotten to face him. I'd love to go one on one with him. Natural Born Player used to actually team with R Truth back when R Truth was in TNA and all. So
Awesome. Well, I honestly, I hope you get a chance to actually wrestle all those guys and whatnot. Blanco Loco, yeah, he's definitely one to watch out for. As a matter of fact, you might want to make sure you have some buddies by your side, because he's part of a trio. Him and Axton Lowe and I think her name is Ellie. They're like a trio.
Dream Girl Ellie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dream Girl that and Axton Lowe. So you might want to watch out, for those two at ringside, because they might help their buddy out. So, but yeah, I hope you get to wrestle all those guys, and hopefully we get to see you on TV, AEW, WWE Impact, and then we'll be like, yeah, we just had that guy on the show, man. It's that's why I love. That's why we love doing this, because you never know where somebody's gonna be in the near future, and we've seen that before with people like Roxanne Perez, Amari Miller, and Danny Limelight, and several others. And it's a great it's a great feeling saying that, yes, they're
Right.
living right now. So I'm gonna go and turn it to Rob. 'Cause I know Rob has some questions for you. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Ramby. So what's going on, man? How's everything going today?
Oh, it's going great. It is going fantastic. I'm having fun here. Thank y'all for having me on the show and all. Like I said, I'm on here for the first time. Oh no. Okay.
That's all right.
Kind of
Hey,
bumped it
I
there for a
appreciate you
second.
coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. So anything crazy happened today, man? Or just a normal day?
Just a normal day. I will say this. I am extremely sore today. I was extremely sore yesterday. Sunday, went up to Vail, North Carolina, trained with my mentor, did leg day. Hate leg day. Leg day is murder on the legs. But it's like how my mentor says, the legs is what ties everything together. Everybody goes and they say, and I'm gonna probably tick off some more people, but I don't care. Uh, um, they want to work their arms, they want to work here, and then you'll see that they don't have really in shape legs. Okay, I don't think people realize exactly how important your legs are when it comes to wrestling. I mean, you're running around the ring, bouncing off those ropes. You can't do that if you don't have good leg strength. Okay, you can't jump up into the air and move around and be nimble if you don't have good legs to support you. I think I saw a video. What was it? TikTok. It had to be a TikTok video. This big guy, big up here, okay, big arms, big chest, comes into the ring to the NWO music. I mean, it's always cool when you see a wrestler come out to the NWO music. That's great. Um, he comes out, gets on the second rope. You see that his legs are like disproportioned from his upper body. And he doesn't really do anything major, but he kind of comes off the second rope just as a regular wrestler would after going like, yeah, gets down, and then as he lands on his feet, his legs fold up like accordion. And boom, he's totally destroyed his legs because his legs were not strong enough to hold up his upper body. So the legs are very important when it comes to wrestling. Very important.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can get blown up quick in there. You probably don't think about it if you're watching it, but yeah, you'll get blown up quick. Hitting them ropes. Running around. You're like, okay. Because I've done that. I've gone to training and stuff. I
Oh
remember
yeah.
when I first started going to training. With my trainer and all, it was like, oh yeah, it's still just a 5 minute, just match. Just roll around. Just not no suplexes, nothing crazy. Just basic stuff. And yeah, after that 5 minutes, it was like probably my second day training, third day. I remember sitting there like, I think I might have to go throw up. I was like, oh man, if I have to get up and run a little more, man, I'm gonna have to be like, oh, hold on one second, let me run over here. But I was good. I was good. I was good. Now I went back.
Um,
I had a little health problems, and I went back. First time in like 4 or 5 months of training last week, and yeah, we were working on stuff, and I was sore for the next 5 days. The past 2 days, I finally, felt a little better. I'm getting ready to go back tomorrow. Do it again. It's like you said
right.
earlier, man. Hey, you always keep training. Because I heard the thing, tights, mics, and stripes. You should always, be learning. Just, you could
Right.
always learn something. I just ref. I ref. Do ring announcing.
Hey,
So I'm always trying to
reffing,
learn.
reffing, man, I do not envy those guys one bit. Refs, man. People think wrestlers have it hard. People think wrestlers have it hard. But we're in there maybe 20 minutes or whatever. Sometimes, in rare cases, 60 minutes. But we're in there for like a match. And you got these refs who's like refing 3 or 4 matches. And they're always maneuvering around and having
Hmm.
to count and do that and keep track of what's going on. I do not envy their jobs whatsoever. They've got to be in even better shape than a wrestler, in my opinion, because being a ref is like a non-stop job. You wrestle your
Oh yeah.
match, you're gone, you're out of there. You go back to the back, you get to rest. Refs, they're like, oh, well, I got another match. I got to ref. I got another one. I got to ref. I don't
Hmm.
envy their jobs one bit. I do not envy
Oh
them.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I usually just try to stay in my safe spots and all. You know what I mean? Like I remember one time I was reffing a body bag cage match with Mr. Grimm and stuff. You know what I mean? Him and Mason Martin. They're big 300-pound dudes. I'm over here. I'm like 150, 160. And yeah, they're jumping around like, okay, yeah, let me just stay over here. Get away from
Right,
these guys.
right.
Woo, that's right.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love
So
it.
I
I
was
love it. We were talking about Virginia, and I got backstory. It's weird how I came to be in North Carolina. I was actually born in Winchester, Virginia. I was born in Winchester. I do not remember Winchester except for one thing, and I have this weird thing of remembering places I've been to. I remember Winchester because of a water tower. And I was a baby, at the time. How I even remember that, I have no idea. But I remember a big water tower. Okay. I lived in Florida down for a few months and I was still too young to really remember. But one thing I remember about Florida is the humidity.
Yeah.
God, that stuff with me, the humidity. But then again, you're near swamps, so of course. I
Mhm.
mean, it's Florida. It's like it's even humid in Florida in winter. I
Mhm.
was like, everybody's like, I'm going down to Florida for Christmas. Why? I mean, you can go somewhere where it snows. I mean, that's the thing about Christmas. But I was there. I went to Danville, Virginia, which I have family in Danville, Virginia. Um, then we lived in Kentucky for a bit. I have family in Kentucky. Uh, and then we eventually moved down here to North Carolina, and I've been here ever since. I haven't left. Uh, Sometimes Marion, where I live, it can get frustrating because we have some idiots in McDowell County, and I mean major idiots. I mean, it's just one of those things. But no, I love
Yeah.
North Carolina. Don't get me wrong, I do love North Carolina. Tar Heels are my team. Panthers are my team. I love North Carolina.
Yeah. Tar Heels are my basketball team. I like them. I always like the
Well,
Tar Heels.
yeah, because for years they sucked at football. I mean, they sucked at football. And then miraculously this year they get better. I was like, oh, y'all got the team. Okay.
That's right.
What?
See, normally I root for all the Delaware teams, but usually they're not in the the top stuff. You know what I mean? Like the Blue, the Tar Heels and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, yeah, I like the Tar Heels and Notre Dame for football. Stuff like that. But normally I root for all the Delaware teams. Like, oh
Okay.
yeah, come on, let's go fighting Blue Hens or the Hornets or whoever, the Wolverine,
Right.
Wesley Wolverines. So I was doing a little research, man, and I seen that you're a fan of anime, and your favorite is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and all. And my brother, he is big on anime too. Like I think that's all he watches. If you go over there, it's Crackle 24/7. I think is that channel Crackle or something.
Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll, yeah, Crunchyroll, yeah, Crunchyroll, and yeah, the one that he was trying to get me to watch, I kept forgetting it, so I talked to him today. It was Tokyo Ghoul. And that's one I seen that I liked it, but I couldn't remember the name of it and all. So what
Uh,
got you into anime and stuff? And what are your other than Brotherhood and stuff? What's your other favorite animes to watch?
well, one, let me comment on Tokyo Ghoul. Love the first season of Tokyo Ghoul. Love it.
Hmm.
Absolutely love first season. I would watch the first season repeatedly. Repeatedly. The other seasons, in my opinion, sucked. They made no
Mm.
sense. They were confusing. I mean confusing. It's like they drifted far off to the left from where they were.
Looks like we lost him again.
That's all good.
It happens.
Yeah, talking about the anime stuff. Yeah, that's probably where I seen Tokyo Ghoul. Probably the first season.
Yeah, I don't really get into anime that much. I'm still trying to catch up on my
Okay,
regular.
there we go.
Oh, here we
There
go.
we
All right.
go. Tokyo Ghoul, like I said, love the first season. Second season on kind of sucked in my opinion. Uh, but no, I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think the reason I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is it tells the story of brothers who are willing to do anything to help each other and they have each other's backs. And I'm always big on loyalty and family. That's just how I've always been. I love that. Um, I also love Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is great. I enjoy Dragon Ball Z. I'm also a little weird because whereas everybody else's favorite character is Goku, mine is Vegeta's.
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah, yeah.
I like
Goku
a
was
good
never my
redemption.
favorite because how he treated his son, man. I was like, man, this dude's awful.
I love
He's
a
a
good
horrible
redemption
dad.
story. I love a good redemption story, and I gotta say, right on that episode on Namek, when Frieza's about killed him, and he's begging Goku to kill Frieza, you can see the tear rolling down Vegeta's eyes, and I'm like, man, this guy, he was made to be a monster. Okay, he wasn't born to be a monster. He was made that way. It's just horrible. So I started feeling for Vegeta, and he became my favorite character from that point on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dragon Ball Z, man. I know there's so many iterations of it. Even the original one, I think there's like 2, 3, 4, 500 episodes, to watch or something. It's like, woo.
Yeah, yeah. So there are some animes that are like short. Have you ever watched Paranoia Agent?
No, I don't think so.
Paranoia
I'll write
Agent
it
is
down.
like I think 12 episodes. Paranoia Agent. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say it's not for everybody because my wife sat with me and watched Paranoia Agent the whole time. She's like, what is happening? And it's hard to explain Paranoia Agent. You have to actually sit down and watch it. If I explained it to you, it's not going to make any sense. And I've seen it completely through 2 times, and it still doesn't completely make sense to me. But I love Paranoia Agent. I love weird stuff. So
Now, what got you into anime? Because me personally, it was I remember a kid was telling me about this movie called Akira and how violent and stuff it was. And I remember we were all like, "What? What are you talking about? No, not on the cartoon." He was like, "Oh yeah," and he brought it into school like the next day. And I remember we stayed in on recess, and watched it. It was like, "Oh yeah," he was telling the truth, and I was like, "Yeah, here we go. I like anime's cool."
I'd have to say I came home one time, uh, was on TV, scrolling through the channel, and on this thing on Cartoon Network pops up Tenchi Muyo.
Mm.
Now, I watched Tenchi Muyo when I was a kid and loved it when I was a kid. When I watched it back as an adult, I'm like, this anime is totally for women. This is totally a female's anime. What? I was like, this is just getting weirder. Some of my tastes have changed as I've gotten older. But the fundamentals, like me and a friend of mine, one of my best friends, he'd come over and we'd watch Yu Yu Hakusho each weekend. And we'd watch it. My favorite arc is the Dark Tournament arc, Dark Tournament Saga from the from Yu Yu Hakusho. I loved it.
That's right. Now, now I also gotta say, you have a Superman tattoo on your arm and stuff, man. Are you, is that your favorite character? And if so, who's your favorite Superman out of the actors? If you have one.
Um, let's see. I actually like to break it down. I have a favorite Superman actor, and my favorite Superman is Christopher Reeve. Favorite Superman. Favorite guy to play
Mhm.
Superman. Now, my favorite guy. I think Tom Welling played the role of Clark Kent perfectly, and the show Smallville. It was fantastic. It was telling his journey of how he became Superman and all. And I think they told that story extremely well. But my favorite Superman is Christopher Reeve, and my favorite Clark Kent is Tom Wellings.
Yeah, those are good choices. I can't argue with that. Smallville, that was a good show. I mean, I like Smallville. I liked it also. I remember watching it one time. I was like, "What is it?" I was like, "Oh, it's Superman." Okay, here we go.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, are you into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or are you more of a DC person?
That's ironic. My favorite superhero of all time, DC wise, is Superman. But I get more into I'm more into Marvel stories than I am DC stories because I feel you can relate to the MCU characters a lot better than you can DC characters. For instance, you got Spider Man. Okay, who I mean, who hasn't at their point in life felt that their life is falling apart and it's their fault, or something happened that went wrong because they screwed it up, or who hasn't been late for a job, or who hasn't had girlfriend issues? Okay, anybody can relate to Peter Parker. Peter Parker is probably the most relatable character in all of the MCU because he deals with everyday life situations on top of having to try to be a superhero.
Oh yeah. Now, when I was a kid, I remember getting into Marvel and stuff, and I remember my favorite back then when I first started looking at comics. I was into comics for a little bit when I was a kid. I like Ghost Rider. He was my guy. I watched that. I'm like, oh, dude on a motorcycle with a chain and a flaming skull. Like, oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm a Wolverine fan though. Wolverine's
Yeah,
my guy.
yeah,
Okay.
Wolverine's awesome. Yeah, he's badass.
And the news broke today. I don't know if you saw it. I keep in touch with all this news, but
Mhm.
news broke today that Hugh Jackman's coming back to reprise his role of Wolverine in Deadpool 3
Oh
in the
snap.
MCU. So
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm pumped. I can't wait for 2024 to get here.
I actually watched Deadpool 2 last night. That's crazy, yeah, because in the very beginning, it was like showed Logan, and he was sitting there, all stabbed and stuff. I was like, oh, they gotta bring him in here. I was like, man, you gotta get him in here, but he retired, so I was like, oh, that's probably not gonna happen. But I'm glad you
Yeah,
said
but
that. That put me in a good mood. I'm excited.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely,
Now, I
definitely. I
kind of,
love it.
yeah, I am curious of who's going to replace him though, because I know he said he wasn't, gonna, do some movies and stuff. His arc's pretty much done. But yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm curious to see who they're gonna get to replace him and all that.
I don't know. As long as we don't get Daniel Radcliffe to play him. God may have played
There
a
you go.
great Harry Potter, but I mean, like, Jesus, please do not get this guy to play Wolverine.
There you go. Now, I also seen you're a little bit of a gamer. Yeah, PS4.
I have a PS4. I have an Xbox One. I
Nice.
have my wife has the original Xbox. Yeah, she
Mm,
has the original Xbox in the house. I have a 360. Actually, we have two 360s at the house. Um, I have an Xbox One, a PS4, and I just recently picked up a Nintendo Switch.
oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. See, I got a PS4, Xbox One, and I got a 3DS, but yeah, I haven't really got to the current gen yet because it's kind of hard for me to get a hold of one. And every time Amazon hits me
It's
up, and they're
because
like,
of the
"Oh yeah, we
money.
got some and all." I'm like, "You hit me up, right after the day before I get paid when I'm broke the most." I'm like, "Come on, man! Wait a couple days." Dang.
I felt bad. I felt bad. I went to the game store that we have in town, in Marion, right across from Walmart, and day I got the Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, okay, I have enough money to get the Nintendo Switch. Okay, I can get the Nintendo Switch. Okay, I go there, and I'm like, so you got Nintendo Switches? They're like, yeah, we got like a dozen of these things. I'm like, cool. And I'm like, I'll just ask out of curiosity. I'm like, so you got any PS5s? You probably don't. He's like, we got one right over there. It's the only one we got left. And I'm like, of course it would be. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, so how much is it? He's like, $500. I'm like, of course it would be $500 when I find a PS5, finally find one, and I can't afford it.
Hmm. I know that I'm always mad at myself. I'm like, dang. All right. One day I'll probably get one though, but I'm not really like amped up about this gen, because I don't know. I guess they don't have enough games out for me yet. I'm cool with my Xbox, PlayStation. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
good.
definitely. But I know next year they're amping up their game catalog.
Hmm.
Next year they're coming out with the sequel to the Spider-Man game that came out with for the PS4, the true sequel, not Miles Morales,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the actual sequel. So they got that. They've got Alan Wake 2, which I waited for over 11 years for them to make a sequel, and they're finally coming out with the sequel. I am waiting for it. And they're coming out with a new Wolverine game.
hmm,
They're coming out with the Wolverine game for PS5. So I already know, and there's Gotham Knights.
yeah,
So those are like my four games. Next year's games, if I can find a PS5, next year's games are already figured out for me. I know what I'm buying. I know what I'm playing. My game catalog is full for next year.
yeah. I'm gonna have to get one eventually because the new Mass Effect coming out and stuff. That's my Mass Effect games were my favorite games. That, and then number two would be the Red Dead Redemption games. But Mass
Oh, I
Effect,
love
when
that
the
game
new one
too.
comes out, yeah, I got to get something. I'm gonna have to play it. I have to, if I can't get one, I have to get a brand new laptop or something. And play be
Yeah.
a PC, Master Race or whatever. So
All my friends keep saying you should get a PC. I'm like, I really. It sounds tempting, but I just don't want to play games on a device that I did homework on when I was in school.
yeah, I got my laptop. I play some games on here like Persona 4, Tekken, Fire Pro Wrestling, stuff like that. Just small Fallout, small games. I can just carry it with me or something. But yeah, man. So yeah, I also seen you have a YouTube channel, man. Can you tell us about that?
I do. It's called Masked Menace. Now, as I found out from one of the people who's in ACW, and they tried to search for me, there's like multiple Masked Menace uh, accounts, which is extremely weird now that I think about it. Uh, but then it's like, okay, because I start thinking, what do y'all do, and why are y'all called the Masked Menace? It makes me worried at
Yeah.
times. Um, but I got one, and I post that. I post uh, promo videos, announcement videos, and I just recently interviewed a guy named the Boston Fury.
Mm,
Uh, we did that. That's got over like, I think, almost 50 some views already. I think.
nice.
Um, I got that going. I also have a podcast that I do every Thursday, or at least try to do every Thursday if I have internet.
Oh, internet paused again.
Yeah, I guess we lost him. He'll be back.
Yeah. I just got one or two more questions. What's today? Tuesday? NXT? Yeah, NXT is getting ready to come on, isn't it? Or it's
Yep.
on now, right?
Hmm.
Check it out.
Yeah. So are you excited for
There we go.
CCW, man? Oh, here he's back.
Now what?
Oh yeah, and yeah. I forgot what we were talking about. Me and Remy and I started saying something, but
Y'all were talking about
yeah.
CCW, I think. CCW, I think y'all were
Oh
talking
yeah, yeah.
about.
He asked if I was excited about it. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to go back. Ref and stuff, all that. Yeah, he was chatting. Yeah, because I do that on CCW, one CW up here in Delaware.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, do you have any funny traveling traveling stories that's happened? Like maybe you're on your way to a show and you see Chupacabra or Bigfoot's out there, something crazy happening because you are there in North Carolina and stuff driving around there, and I've been through like Virginia, Tennessee, West Virginia and stuff, and some of them places, they're long dark roads. Like, oh man.
Well, the longest I think we drove had to have been to the Foston, not the Foston, Jesus, the Salisbury Fairgrounds last year. But that wasn't really, there wasn't anything weird that happened when we went there. I will say, you talked about Bigfoot here in, I think it's next week. Next week we have a Bigfoot festival in North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Somehow it's become like the biggest festival. Even it's weird because I gotta say, and somebody posted it, McDowell County, we don't have a lot going for us. But one night I'm perusing through Adult Swim and I see an advertisement and they are like, yeah, there's this place called McDowell County that has and it's just in words. It's like, there's a place called McDowell County that has a Bigfoot festival. And I'm like, oh my God, we got mentioned on Adult Swim. That I was like, what? It's like, you've made it is you're
Hmm.
mentioned on Adult Swim. Okay, just it's one of those things.
Yeah,
But we
I
have a
like Adult Swim.
we have a Bigfoot festival. And the funny story about that is it all stemmed from because somebody at nighttime thought they had saw a Bigfoot in McDowell County. They thought they had seen a Bigfoot. The truth of the matter is the guy was probably three sheets to the wind and
Hmm.
probably saw some hairy I'm not trying to offend anybody, but hairy fat guy standing behind a telephone pole, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's a Bigfoot." So now we got the Bigfoot Festival.
That's right. Yeah, I remember watching the thing about Bigfoot, and I remember it said Bigfoot sightings have happened in every state except Hawaii and Delaware. I was like, yeah, that is true because Delaware we're so small. It's like, yeah, oh, we seen a Bigfoot over here. Everybody would go there and be like, where's he at? 'Cause, oh, we can't find him. So I was like, yeah, that is true. I can see that. Yeah. And
I
Bigfoot,
will say,
he ain't swimming to Hawaii.
right, exactly. I will say I'm getting amped for October the 8th, though. October the 8th is going to be, it's going to be interesting because on October the 8th, I get to go up against somebody I have had a feud with for the past 2 years. We cannot stand each other. And I mean, I legitimately can't stand each other. This stems back from when I was the heel, okay, and he was the baby face. Okay, I just couldn't stand this guy, and he couldn't stand me. And ultimately, it's ironic because my Teachable Moments podcast actually stemmed from a video I did called The Teachable Moments. I talked about this the other night in Gabe Sapowski's Twitter space. Um, it was just a one-off video, originally planned as a one-off video to talk about how he was gullible and listen to the people and was easily influenced. Now, bear in mind, easily influenced. Okay. Fast forward, we're here in 2022, and now he's with a group called the Appalachian Mafia. I go from being one of the most loathed and hated wrestlers in ACW to becoming one of the most cheered wrestlers in ACW. He goes to being from being one of the most cheered to being one of the most loathed. It's funny how that happens in wrestling, by the way. But he joined the Appalachian Mafia. And he joined the Appalachian Mafia because he's easily influenced. Now he's been easily influenced by this guy named Brew Capone, who has money. He's been easily influenced by first class flights to Australia and Japan.
Ooh.
He's been easily influenced with nice watches and nice clothes. Okay. I just want him to know that come October the 8th, even though what was originally supposed to be a one-on-one match, this is what ticks me off. It was supposed to be a one-on-one match, me versus Venom, which is now turned into a three-way match. They call it a three-way match. It's me versus Venom versus the Mime. Here's the downside about that three-way match. The Mime and Venom are both in the Appalachian Mafia. You see the issue we've got here?
Yeah.
They may have it billed as a three-way, but what it is a glorified handicap match. Who do you think is going to be the one that's going to get beat up?
Oh yeah. See
You
what you gotta do. You gotta try and outsmart them a little bit.
you think Mime's going to beat up on his friend the Venom?
Oh no.
His friend Venom? No, they're going to go after me because neither one of them like me. All because some quack doctor at some mental hospital told ACW that you need to make the match a three-way because the Mime needs his demon. And now we need to find out if his demon is Venom or the Masked Menace. So, all because some quack doctor, who I've never even heard of to begin with, has said that it needs to be a three-way, ACW makes it a three-way. Now, answer me a question. When did doctors get the ability to make matches?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all that. As far as I know, doctors ain't bookers.
Oh, exactly. I'll tell you how it happened. And it's me speculating. I don't like to speculate, but I can connect the lines. I can connect the dots. There's a guy named Brew Capone in the Appalachian Mafia, and he has this.
Mm.
Okay. And at the beginning of the video, the doctor says, thanks to a very gracious donor, the mime has been here with us for a few days, and we have had a breakthrough. Okay, you're telling me Brew Capone, the mastermind behind the whole Appalachian Mafia, didn't pay money to get this match created?
Oh yeah, yeah. I see some shenanigans on that one. There's definitely some shenanigans there.
And it's ironic because once again, I'm on my own.
Mm.
Okay. My buddy Kraken, who we reunited to take down the mafia, can't make it because of some unforeseen circumstances, which I still think the mafia had something to do with that. The Faustin Fury is going to be there, but he's going to be commentating, if anything. So and he's one of my buddies, but once again, I'm in it on my own. But you know what? That's fine because, like a fan said on ACW, I go in there and I fight, and it's usually just me against them because I have what they call intestinal fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll take on the Appalachian Mafia. I don't care if it's Venom. I don't care if it's the Mine. I don't care if it's Mike Levy and Jamie Ross all in there together. I really don't. The point is, all that's happening is Venom got lucky again, and he's proven he can't beat me on his own without help. So they make it a three-way match, uh, which is actually a glorified handicap match, because he can't beat me on his own. He's good. The Venom's good. It just makes me think, does he have that little confidence in his own abilities to beat me? Because every time he's beat me lately, Brew's been out there, and I've asked multiple times for a one-on-one, mano-a-mano match, me and him, without any of his cronies, without any of his help, without Brew down there. But you want to know what? Every time he has one of his buddies out there. Every time. And they try to distract me and they try to get me off my game so he can't, because he cannot beat me on his own.
Mm. Yeah,
But
man.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
look. Yeah,
He's putting
that's awful.
Yeah, he's postponing the inevitable because, like I said in a promo, if you go onto my Facebook, I posted it today. Arch Clarence Kent, you go on there. I posted. I said he's postponing the inevitable because I don't care if it's October the 8th. I don't care if I have to go through mine to do it because I will if I have to. But I don't care if it's October the 8th. I don't care if it's November. I don't care if it happens in Vail, Tallahassee, Oklahoma, Ohio, Virginia. I don't care where it happens. I am going to hurt Venom. As simple as that. Because he smacked me at FanFest. And I was raised that somebody does wrong to you, they should pay tenfold. And that's what's going to happen to Venom. All that's happening with him postponing the inevitable is it's going to be 10 times worse for him when I hurt him than it would have been if it would have just been one-on-one on October the 8th.
That's right. Venom. Let there be carnage. That's right.
Oh yeah, I've also I used to like to refer to him as the comic book character ripoff.
Mm. There you go. There you go. That's right. So my last question was gonna be when is your next show, and is it October 8th is your next match?
Yeah, it's October the 8th. We were gonna have a preview show this past Sunday, but things came up and we had to cancel it. We actually, I would like to talk about that. Where if you
Oh
want
yeah,
to
go ahead.
know, if you and everybody else wants to know who's watching, where they can watch my stuff. We have a YouTube channel called Bradshaw TV. If you want to write this down, you can. It's Bradshaw TV, and our symbol's like a bear. It's a picture of a bear's head, basically. Matter of fact, our ring's called the Bear's Den, and we have ACW has this big thing about bears. I don't know. There for a while, 2 years ago, Cyclone was saying he was going to wrestle a bear. in an MMA fight. And I'm like, please don't. I don't. You don't need to die. Okay, let's not fight a bear. Okay. Um, but we call our place the Bears Den. But yeah, we have preview shows. It's Bradshaw TV. We usually film them every other Sunday, but we had to cancel because we didn't have enough people. Um, and so we canceled, which is why I went up to Vale, worked on my match, did leg day, and now why my legs are sore. So,
Mhm.
um, we do that. We post and once we film them every other Sunday if we can, depending on weather. Okay, depending on weather, we film them, and then we post them like either the following Sunday after or the Sunday after that, depending on what Jimmy Mellon. He's a great guy. He's a general manager. He also books, he also films, and he also edits all of the stuff, which is great. It's fantastic. We have a great commentating team. We have Sharon Moses, who is the wife of Daniel Moses. Daniel Moses is like a big boss. Okay, he's the promoter. He's the like he comes there, and then we have our big boss, the one who created Bradshaw Promotions, which is Will Bradshaw, and all. But Daniel, we have a great team. Daniel, Sharon Moses, she commentates. We usually sometimes we have Mr. Thunderbolt come on and he commentates. And like I said, we got Jimmy who does the filming of the preview shows. He edits the preview shows. He books the matches. He sometimes commentates. He does a lot behind the scenes. And at times he gets wrestlers there when they have no ride there who need a ride there. So he does a lot. Jimmy's a huge foundation of what ACW is. And he's a big cog in the machine that makes ACW keep going, basically. So
That's right. Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on and chat with us. I definitely had a blast, and good luck on
problem.
October the 8th, man. I'm hoping you start, you tear them up, and you end up stacking them on top of each other, and you pin them like that. You know what I mean? I'm
Uh,
pulling for you. I'm
I
hoping
would
you can get it.
I would like to also be real quick plug another match that is happening. A match that
Mhm.
is a must see. So if anybody's around Vale on October the 8th, come out and watch it. Our champion, Will Bradshaw, the South Mountain Superman, is going up against Ruler Garasek. And he's like this assassin for hire. He's a mercenary for hire, not an assassin for hire. I think they're basically the same thing,
Mhm.
but mercenary for hire. And he comes all the way from Japan, flies down, and he's making the trip down here uh, to North Carolina on October the 8th. He's putting up his undefeated streak against Bradshaw's title. Bradshaw's putting
Mhm.
his title on line while Garasek puts up his undefeated streak. It's going to be a match for the ages. It needs to be seen. So if anybody's listening, you in Vale, you in the area on October the 8th, come up to Vale. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be one of our biggest shows.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I hope y'all tear the roof down, man. But yeah, before I pass it on to Remy, I do want to say, thank you for taking time out of your day, man. I hope you kick butt on October the 8th, and I wish you and your family, nothing but the positive things to happen from here on out, man.
Thank you very much.
Mass Menace, I just gotta say, it was a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on here and shoot the breeze about your wrestling career and whatnot. We really and truly do appreciate it. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when your next appearance is? Purchase Mass Menace merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Okay, well, we got I got an Instagram, and it's called at the dot masked menace. That's that. I have a TikTok called at Arch Clarence Kent. I post on TikTok. I have a Twitter where y'all met me at Kent underscore Arch. And my Facebook is always, my YouTube is Masked Menace, and my Facebook is always Arch Clarence Kent. So they can find me there. My merchandise, I usually sell my merchandise at shows and all. If you want, if they want to get some shipped to them and mailed to them, they can hit me up on Instagram, on the Facebook Messenger, whatever. Let me know on Twitter. They can hit me up. I can. We can work with them. I don't use PayPal. I don't use. I don't use. What is that one? It's that one that everybody's been using lately. Not PayPal, but the other. Yeah, I don't use Cash App either because here lately, people's been getting all their bank accounts hacked and their accounts being drained via Cash App. So I stay away from Cash App. I stay away from PayPal. What they can do, if they want some merch from me, I'm working on trying to get shirts made up. But at the moment, I only have pictures. Uh, if they want merch and all, they can hit me up. We can work out a money order. They can send a money order to me via the mail and whatever and I can send them the stuff. Basically, that's how I'll do. That's how I usually do it with money orders. So
Awesome. So y'all definitely heard, follow this man on social media. He also has merchandise available, so definitely check him out. Support indie wrestling, man. Like I said, that's where 90% of your AEW and WWE superstars come from. So definitely, check out his merch, and also promoters. If you're looking to book the Masked Menace, he just gave his information as well. So definitely look into him and give him a shot at your promotion. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy, my stomach is rumbling. I mean, it's time for dinner time and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I indulge in those activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Tommy to my Ghost, and the Sean Spencer to my Burton Guster. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when your next appearance is, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob_Base82. Facebook Rob Base, and I also have a show October 8th. We're going to be at the Houston Fire Hall for, I think it's a benefit for childhood cancer or something like that. Bell time's at 10 a.m. So we're going to be there early. I'm going to be there like 7 o'clock, setting up ring and all that good stuff. So yeah, you get there on October 8th, 10 a.m. It's the school, the Workhorse School, and then October 15th, we have the show CCW 1CW. The only match I know of right now is Miles Millennium versus Leo St. Giovanni, LSG, for the 1CW Championship match. So you got that one going for us. And if you ever want to check it out, see me ring announce, ref, or anything, or the guys and girls on there, go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, and you can catch it on the instant replay thing or whatever, past shows and all that.
Ooh, I want Hardy to actually book Red Dog versus Rodney Mack, the original Red Dog.
Yeah, that would
Something
be
funny.
that'd be a good
But,
one.
yeah, definitely check out 1CW. Definitely check out CCW. They're both doing big things. If you're in Delaware or if you're in Houston, Delaware, or any surrounding areas, definitely check them out as well. SPW Sacramento Pro Wrestling over in Sacramento. They have a show going on as well in Elk Lodge, California. I think it's on the 16th. You got a lot of cool people there, Sir Samurai, Scoot Robertson, and there's several others that I can't name right now. But definitely check out our Instagram page because we actually have those shows posted and their dates and who's going to be there and so on. So definitely check us out. And with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say these days, but who knows? Maybe you'll hear me say something cool. Spoiler alert: I'm also a fan of Quantum Leap. So if you're a Quantum Leaper, I don't know if they call that. If you're a leaper, or if you're a fan of Stargirl or The Boys, definitely come talk to your boy, and we'll talk some TV shows and whatnot. And maybe we can even exchange some shows that we can actually check out. I'm always looking for new shows, just like Rob. But You can find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue. And you can also find me on Instagram at the Remy Blue as well. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. And for our podcast, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we also have a Spotify, and we also have a Teespring store. We sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have tank tops, we have long sleeve shirts for the fall weather that's here, and also hoodies as well too. We even have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage, whether it's a pumpkin spice latte or some coffee or some good old hot chocolate with marshmallows. We got the hookup with the coffee mugs. So definitely check us out. Cop some merch. All proceeds go back into keeping this show afloat. They do not go back. They do not go back into our pockets. And last but not least, we also have a YouTube channel where we have a lot of cool interviews like this one, like the one we just did with the Scotta Ricans here in Brooklyn, and also Jordy Lee. So definitely, check us out on YouTube. Type in Ringside Society, and once you see that sweet OMG dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. We really truly appreciate it. We strive to be one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan should listen to. So those of y'all that are going to listen to us later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we would just go away and take our merch with us. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we ain't going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very willing to rid everybody in the grandparents and the parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents. We're not your grandparents podcast. We're not your parents podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the greatest wrestler in ACW ever, two-time ACW television champion, the Masked Menace, Archer Clarence Kent.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow with another impressive episode with another impressive guest. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.